Hey there, how are you today? My name's Dana Damara, and you have landed on Astrocast. This is your new moon report for the new moon in Sagittarius happening on December 12th at 3:32 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This new moon is in the sign of Sagittarius, and it's the last new moon of the year, of the calendar year, I should say. Always like the last new moon of the year. I feel like the last new moon of the year for me is actually more important than New Year's Eve itself, because as we know, new moons hold all the potency for new beginnings. It's not about a calendar date, it's about where the moon is. I mean, if you haven't figured it out already, the moon makes the waves. So I feel like the moon might be pretty powerful. So this new moon in Sagittarius is really powerful. Lots of aspects I want to share with you, but the first thing I want to say is one of the most important things you can do with this new moon is remember that bliss isn't something that you create or that you get to. Bliss is something that you choose, right? I was watching let me say that again. I have to say that again. Bliss is not something that you create or that you get to. It's something that you choose. And I see this after listening to a recorded meeting with, honestly, my therapist, who is amazing. And she's a Buddhist practitioner, and she's so wise. I've learned so much from her. And I often tell her, like, if I grow up in this life, I want to grow up and be just like you. And something she talked about was acceptance and how important acceptance is. The thing with this, the paradox with this that I love is that we, through accepting the way things are, we allow ourselves to let go of dramatic reactions and this expectation of what we think things are supposed to be like, including ourselves. And we actually can choose to look at life from a blissful standpoint. And I just feel like this is brilliant. And this is completely in alignment with this new moon. With this new moon, my invitation to you, just an invitation, is to take some time and really draw out, map out what you really desire and dream big. Because remember, Sagittarius is the adventurer. Sagittarius is the one that has the faith and the knowledge and the wisdom, ruled by Jupiter. So this energy, before we move into the new year, the new calendar year, this energy is really about letting go of the things that just you don't want to take into 2024 with you. And what do you really want your life to look like? Another thing we have going for us with this new moon, and I'm going to show you the map in a second. Another thing we have going for us with this new moon is the fact that it happens on 12/12. So, I love all this stuff, especially numerology. I feel like sometimes when I'm driving long distances or even not long distances, I look at license plates just to see if I can find like a code, right? And I know it sounds crazy, but numerology is really important, especially when you see triple numbers like 333, 444, like they're angel numbers. It's like we get to see this magic happening if you choose to see it, which I highly recommend with this new moon. And it supports us in remembering that, we're really here in Earth school. We're in this Earth suit on planet Earth in Earth school to evolve and to grow and to remember that we're just this little speck of dust with a whole bunch of power, but just this little speck of dust. And the numerology for this new moon is 12/12. Now, this is why 12 is a super cool number to have a new moon fall on. First of all, every year we have 12/12, right? Like, hello, it's kind of like 11/11. But 12/12, think about it, right? There's 12 months in a year. There's 12 zodiac signs. There's like, it's a really angelic number. And so when you approach this new moon energy, again, invitation only, is to approach it with the sense of magic, of wonder, of awe, of like, what's really happening here. Okay. So I'm going to show you the map. There we go. Okay. And so you can see the moon and the sun up here in Sag with Mars still super close. I'm going to talk about that. And Neptune is really active in this new moon. I'm going to put my glasses on because it's so much easier to see. Okay. So because Mars is really close to this new moon, we still have that fiery, passionate, aggressive, potentially assertive, reactionary energy. So again, think about it this way, right? There's a difference between responding and reacting. Go with the response if you can. Try to use this energy in a productive way instead of in a way that is kind of like pushing it. Mars, where it is right now, motivates us to get moving, to get going, to feel into what it is we really desire and give us the passion to move forward. You just want to harness the energy, right? You just want to harness it. And the other thing I want to say that kind of coincides with that is that Mercury is going to station retrograde on this day, right? So it's the planet of communication. And we all know, if you pay any attention to astrology, you know that Mercury retrogrades few times a year, right? So we know that when Mercury retrogrades, it's a time to really slow down, to revisit, to reset anything with that re word, we with that re prefix, right? We want to pause. We want to ask ourselves, is this really what I want to say? Is this really what I want to do? Review. Mercury retrograde is such a great time for it to be in retrograde before the end of the year. And it stays in retrograde till January 1st. So move slowly, take your time, notice how you're feeling. Don't react, respond. And it's also a really great time to fall into and almost like refine your intuition, right? So if you can do that, this is beautiful. The sun and the moon are both square to Neptune as well. And I think I talked a little bit about this last week, but if I didn't, I'm just going to review it anyways. So anything that has to do with Neptune, especially now that Neptune is moving forward, almost moving forward. Neptune will go direct on the 16th. Pay attention to your dreams. Neptune is the dreamy planet. Neptune can create illusions, but it can also allow you to see things from a deeper perspective, maybe a more psychic and mystical energy. So, get your rest, refrain from any quick decisions because of where Mercury is, but also just kind of incorporate like what's coming up for you, right? Like what's coming up with Neptune, what's coming up in your dreams, mine have been so vivid lately with like these loud, like messages and it's so clear when I wake up, right? So I just want to say, be super mindful about what it is that you desire and just take everything into account. Just take everything into account right now. Let's see, what else do we have? We have so much, right? Okay, let's see. We also have Jupiter. Okay, so two things with Jupiter here. Jupiter's trining Mercury and it's also opposing Venus. Okay, and so this is really important because Jupiter is the planet of expansion and growth and elevation and knowledge and wisdom, right? So when Jupiter trines Mercury during the new moon, right, this is a really positive aspect, even though Mercury is going into retrograde, right? So this is going to expand your awareness. It's going to expand the way you see things. The only thing with Jupiter that we want to remember is that Jupiter can expand, but it can also over exaggerate, right? So focus on the positive aspects of Jupiter: abundance, love, good fortune, luck, right? This, because it's opposite Venus, this energy can also make you feel really open-hearted and more compassionate, more understanding, more loving. So, this energy really points us in the direction of abundance and what we really desire. Just remember Mars and Mercury. So Mars is going to want to push you forward, right? Mars is going to get a little angsty, maybe a little impatient. Mercury is going to pull you back. So right now it's almost like we're, with this new moon, like laying the groundwork of where we want to go, where our heart wants us to go, not where we think we should go. It's where we want to be, where our heart is like, oh my God, this makes zero sense, but this is what I want to be, do, and contribute. So stop thinking about what you should do and think about what makes you happy. Remember what I said in the very beginning: bliss is a choice. It's not a result. It's not something that we get to. We don't do things to become blissful. We choose to be blissful, right? We choose it no matter what's going on in our life, right? So take on a sense of deep trust in the universe. Take on a sense of deep trust in what it is that you want to create and contribute in this life. Take on a trust in the magical and mystical signs that you see, even if you've never acted that way before. Even if you're listening to me and you're like, oh, what is she talking about? Everything is logical. Everything needs to be like this, and this. You know in your heart that that's not true. I know you do. And so just for this new moon, I want you to dream super big. And I want you to imagine your life as the way you have always imagined it to be. And when you hear those little voices in your head that are like, oh, that's not going to work. Oh, that doesn't even make any sense. Oh, how is that going to happen? Shut that down. Shut it down right away. I hope this helps you. I know looking at this whole entire year, and even astrologically looking at the year coming up, I try to remember that we have a choice in how we interpret what goes on in our life and how life responds to us. And my invitation is to live from a place of trust, of faith, of adventure, and bliss, right? Like, try not to look at your life and go, how can I change this or make it different? This is wrong over here. This needs to be adjusted. Whatever. What do you really desire? Live from that place. I want to say that I am taking on a lot of astrology readings right now. So if this is something that you desire, if you want your chart read for 2024, please reach out to me. You can reach out to me anytime, but I think at the end of the year, it's a really nice time, or at the very beginning of the year is a really nice time just to see what's coming up in the planets and the cosmos for you. You can do that by just going to my website at danadamara.com, and I'm happy to do that for you. And then if you just want some general information about astrology and how to, look and see what I'm even talking about, just go to myastrocast.com and you will put in your little email and you'll start getting some emails from me, just giving you the basics. It's really helpful and fun. I want to say thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have such a beautiful day. Namaste.